Number of agencies conducting a thorough investigation into incident captured on video involving schoolboys and cops. And 1,253 persons have been murdered across the island as of November 25. And now the details. The task force that's exploring the impact of artificial intelligence on Jamaica is expected to submit its report to Cabinet in a few months. Information Minister Robert Morgan gave the update while addressing Parliament today. Mr. Morgan noted growing public concern about the opportunities and risk associated with use of AI in the Jamaican society. The task force is expected to, among other things, make recommendations for a regulatory framework.
The government has been very proactive by assembling a task force to look at the opportunities for artificial intelligence as well as the risks. This grouping or task force comprises a multi-stakeholder grouping. It comprises private sector experts. It comprises persons from various agencies within the government. And within another 3 or 4 months, they'll be submitting to Cabinet recommendations, not only for a regulatory framework for artificial intelligence, but what are some of the opportunities. And this initiative is being led by Minister Dana Morris-Dixon in strong collaboration with the Broadcasting Commission.
Information Minister Robert Morgan. The Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau IPROB is investigating a recent incident during a traffic stop in St. Mary in which a boy became involved in a confrontation with members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. In a release today, the JSF said the incident followed a routine stop of a driver who is the father of the boy for a traffic violation. The situation allegedly escalated, leading to the involvement of the student and physical altercation with a police officer. A viral video which circulated on social media last week showed the police restraining the boy with what some have described as excessive force. The JCF said it, along with IPROB and other state authorities, are conducting a thorough investigation into the matter. This includes reviewing the incident, collecting necessary statements, as well as seeking additional footage to ensure a comprehensive understanding of the events. 1,253 persons have been murdered across the island as of November 25. That's according to the latest crime stats from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The number of murders represents a 10.4% decline when compared to the 1,399 recorded for the same period last year. All divisions recorded murders, with St. James leading with 170, followed by St. Andrews South with 111. Meanwhile, there were also declines in rapes, robberies, and break-ins. Cases of rape had 17.2% reduction. Robberies went down by 16.1% from 836 to 701, while break-ins decreased by 13.8% from 915 to 789. 3 men were shot and killed in separate incidents in St. Catherine and Westmoreland yesterday. Those killed have been identified as 52-year-old Selvin Woodmine of Cave, Westmoreland, 21-year-old Javon Foster of Gordon District, White House, and 29-year-old Nico J. Wilson of Hampstead in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Fiona Daniels reports.
In the latest incident, Woodbine, otherwise called Scat or Breda, of Kentucky District, Cave, Westmoreland, was shot and killed by unknown assailants along the Cave Hill Main Road in the parish. Reports are that at about 6:10 p.m., citizens heard loud explosions and summoned the police. Upon arrival, Woodbine was found suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. Few hours earlier, also in Westmoreland, Foster, otherwise called Kuto, was shot and killed by unknown assailants in his community. Reports are that at about 4 p.m., Foster was sitting along the above-mentioned roadway when he was pounced upon by armed men traveling in a Toyota Oxia motor car. They opened gunfire, hitting Foster several times. And over in St. Catherine, Wilson, otherwise called J. Bad, was shot and killed by unknown assailants at his home. Police reports are that at 1 p.m., the mother of Wilson went to his house to visit him and stumbled upon his body and alerted the police. On arrival of the lawmen, the body was seen with what appeared to be gunshot wounds all over the body. Investigations are ongoing into all 3 murders.
The Portland police are awaiting a report from the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, to determine the nationalities and identities of 9 persons suspected to have arrived in the island by boat between Sunday and yesterday morning. Preliminary reports are that residents spotted a boat on the beach in the early hours yesterday and called the police. Police later took into custody 9 persons at Hope Bay. Head of the Corporate Communications Unit at the JCF, Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, told RFM News that the individuals are suspected to be Haitian nationals.
So we're able to confirm that sometime yesterday, the police in Portland were alerted to a boat that was seen in the Oak Bay area. When they made checks, they didn't find any occupants of the boat. However, further investigation led to them intercepting a motor car where they found 9 persons, 5 males and 4 females, suspected to be Asian nationals in the vehicle. So those persons are currently in custody. Our Passport and Immigration Department are working to ascertain and to confirm the identities of the individuals. The last update I got that they were at a medical facility being medically examined. So the investigation is ongoing and we now await the findings from PICA to determine nationality and identity, etc.
Head of the JCF Corporate Communications Unit, Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. As the country's hospitals continue to grapple with overcrowding, the Health Ministry is urging Jamaicans to exercise the necessary precautions to stay safe this holiday season. In a statement, the ministry explains that during this period, it is expected that temperatures will become cooler, that Jamaica could see an increase in the circulation of respiratory viruses and a spike in persons seeking medical care. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bissesa-McKenzie said in light of these expectations, citizens should do all they can to keep themselves and their families safe, adhering to road safety rules, avoiding physical conflicts, and eating a balanced diet are among the precautions issued by the CMO.
These include practicing healthy lifestyle habits such as a balanced diet, exercise, and adequate rest, taking medications regularly and keeping appointments for regular checkups and necessary investigations, paying attention to situations that can lead to interpersonal violence and to try to avoid or de-escalate conflicts, taking precautions on the roads to avoid accidents or injuries, such as not drinking or using any substance that will affect the mental status while driving, wearing seat belts and adhering to the rules of the road, taking precautions to prevent respiratory illnesses, such as getting the flu vaccine, wearing masks where appropriate, included in crowded situations or when having respiratory symptoms, staying home if ill, seeking medical care early if symptoms are severe or persistent, and washing hands and sanitizing hands frequently. Persons who visit our healthcare facilities are reminded that there still is a mask policy in place for healthcare facilities. It is critical at this time that everyone plays a part to reduce illness, as persons with chronic diseases are especially at risk for poor outcomes from respiratory infections.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bissesa-McKenzie. Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine, Alanda Tarlong, has given a commitment to residents of Gregory Park that their homes will be rebuilt. This after an arson attack in August that left 2 people dead and several others homeless. In his contribution to the constituency debate in the lower house today, Mr. Tarlong expressed appreciation to all who responded to the tragedy and gave support to the affected residents.
In the face of such horrific acts of terrorism, we rallied as a nation and as a government to not only condemn these heinous acts, but to provide support for our fellow Jamaicans. By the Monday morning, our Prime Minister and a team of key stakeholders from the JCF, JDF, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, and the Hope Social Housing Program were in Gregory Park providing support to the families. Additionally, Madam Speaker, we formed Operation Phoenix, mobilizing a coalition of these same government agencies and organizations to provide relief assistance and psychosocial support for the victims. I'd like to extend our gratitude to our partners from the private sector as well for their unwavering commitment to their corporate social responsibility. They provided much needed assistance to the donation of food items, books, and other school supplies, including scholarships during a time of national crisis.
The MP said the rebuilding of the homes will be done under the Hope Social Housing Program.
I am immensely proud to announce our government's unwavering commitment to reconstructing the affected homes. The dedicated team from the Hope Social Housing Program has diligently coordinated with the affected families. And I also extend my gratitude once more to Minister Desmond McKenzie for his invaluable support in clearing the land for us to commence the construction phase. We also laud Minister Charles and Minister Norman Dunn for financial assistance provided to children within the affected families in excess of $750,000. We remain resolute in our stance. This government will never surrender our beloved country to terrorists. We will spare no efforts to ensure that the criminals responsible for this heart-wrenching tragedy are brought to justice. In fact, Madam Speaker, 4 of the young men named in the gruesome acts have been apprehended by security forces.
Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine, Alondo Tarlong. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, said boys are to be socialized to become responsible leaders in the society. He said boys are achieving less success in many spheres and that it must be ensured that from an early stage they have the foundation for success. The health minister added that if the issue of mental health is addressed more, it would help men cope better with their problems. Dr. Tufton was delivering the keynote address at a male empowerment session at Jamaica House recently.
We have to ensure that our men from an early stage have the foundation to recognize what is possible and the importance of putting effort to ensure that that is possible. Now, that is as much about work ethic as it is about emotional intelligence, because we grew up and have tempted to grow up our children not to have emotions, our men. The biggest challenge we face in our country today, which brings us back to the theme, is the issue of mental health. And one of the reasons why men take the very extreme action is because of their lack of coping mechanisms to deal with issues, to deal with pressure, to talk about their circumstances, to recognize that they are vulnerable and can get help.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. The empowerment session was organized by the Office of the Prime Minister and the Office of the Cabinet Gender Committee to mark International Men's Day under the theme Men and Mental Health, Mentally Aware, Mentally Prepared. Scores of male staff members benefited from inspiring talks on how to live healthy and holistic lives, including a panel discussion on enabling men to develop and maintain wellness in every aspect of their existence. Dr. Tufton, in his address, noted that wellness must be factored into personal development, as this is an important aspect of maintaining overall health. Wellness refers to a person's holistic well-being and can include their physical, mental, and emotional health, as well as how they engage with the world around them. Youth Parliamentarian Shani Campbell is calling on the Education Ministry to include financial literacy in the curriculum, adding that this should start at the early childhood level. Speaking at the National Youth Parliament session yesterday, Ms. Campbell emphasized the importance of financial literacy. She said sensitizing children about financial literacy will help them prepare for the financial demands of adulthood.
I propose the inclusion of financial education into the national standards curriculum as a means of transforming our education system to cater to the holistic student. Our young people need to have a full grasp of financial concepts, which include budgeting, taxation, and loans. To adequately prepare our young people for the financial demands of adulthood, the education system must cater to this.
Ms. Campbell proposed use of the piggy bank system among projects that should be introduced to students at the early childhood level.
I I recommend that we attack the issue at the grassroots level by including a piggy bank and model shop project within our early childhood institution. We are operationalizing 1-1 Cocoa full basket. If we are to break our young people free from financial shock, we need financial literacy programs in our schools.
Youth Parliamentarian Shanique Campbell.